W.
T. L.
It's time! W.
T. L.
I think we got a show. Oh yeah, we got a show. W.
T. L.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the Line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Klassen, joined by
Gibran.
Oh, yes, sir. The Parlay Pounder.
You got it. We're back.
Oh, man, we're back in a big way. And
yes,
once
sir.
again, we got a full slate here.
Yeah.
I mean, we got golf, we got horse racing, the Preakness, NBA playoffs. Man, they are heating up.
They are.
Your Lakers stumbled a little bit there.
A little bit.
But we'll get it. We'll get into that. And, of course, we're going to talk a little Major League Baseball.
Got to.
Some futures and odds coming our way here. But let's start with the 2023 PGA Championship that's beginning here today from Oak Hill Country Club in Rochester, New York. You're going to see number one Jon Rahm square off against world number two players like Scotty Scheffler. Of course, they're at the top of the list, along with a lot of other notable golfers at the going for the Wanamaker Trophy. Is that what you call that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I mean, like always, you got just stacked at the top.
Yeah.
The odds show that and how close they are. And you got Scheffler going for the first back-to-back major win since Jordan Spieth. Can he do it? Jon Rahm and company might have something to say about that.
Yeah, I think so. And like you said, it's Jon Rahm and Scotty Scheffler are both at plus 750 to win, Andy.
Yeah.
Rory's right behind him at plus 1,300, and then Xander, kind of brings it up with the last guy in contention there at plus 1,700. Where I want to start off with is a little of my dark horse picks, Andy.
Okay, yeah, some long shots.
My first one that I really, really think has a good shot this weekend is at plus 3,200. Cameron Young. If you're looking for a dark horse outside 30-1, I start with Cameron Young. He's from New York, the 2022 PGA Tour Rookie of the Year, ranks third on tour in driving distance, and has 3 top finishes in the past 4 starts in majors. So this guy is not scared of the big moment. It's on his home turf, all that kind of stuff. With his off the tee and strong iron play from distance, make him the threat. A good week on approach and, some better putting around the green. This could be a really solid week for him and get him into that contention of play.
I've noticed that with golfing. If you can putt a little bit better around the green, you're going to get a better score.
No doubt.
With Cameron Young, he also has a new caddy, and experts are saying, everyone's out there saying this is going to help this guy quite a bit. And of course, everyone knows about his length off the tee and the way that could play at Oak Hill if he can keep it on the fairway. I like that. 30-1, that's what you're saying?
Yeah, plus 3,200 right now to take down the tournament. These are kind of out there, obviously. They're it's hard to win a golf tournament, but you gotta throw a little bit of money on somebody. My real long shot is Wyndham Clark at a plus 7,500, Andy.
Wyndham Clark.
Yeah. He's a top 15 in par 4 efficiency from 450 to 500 yards. And with his recent win at the Wells Fargo Championship, I just think he's kind of riding high right now. So I like Wyndham Clark at a plus 7,500. Those are my two kind of, out there plays. Plus 32 with Cameron Young, plus 7,500 with Wyndham Clark.
I'm going to bring up a couple of my guys.
Yeah.
I always talk about these guys, and it fits your long shot profile
there you
here.
Go.
DJ. Dustin Johnson, 25-1.
Crazy.
That is crazy. That's unbelievable value for a player like that.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be at 25-1 odds. It's just like I don't get it. It's like, did he do bad? Did he hurt someone's feelings? Or the odds makers just not liking the guy? Is it because he's on the Live Tour?
It could be that.
Whatever. I'm betting with my money, not my preference if he's on the PGA or playing with the Saudis in Arabia.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't care. Give me a break on that. And then, of course, I'm going to dial this one in a little bit.
Yeah, do it.
Ricky Fowler. Top 5.
Yeah.
All I want is a top 5 finish, and on a lot of books, I'm getting 12-1 odds on that. He's been outside the top 20 as far as finishes only once in his past 7 starts. Give me Ricky Fowler all day with that top 5 finish.
Yeah, Ricky Fowler plus 1,100 right now on DraftKings Sportsbook.
There we go.
As a top 5 finish. So I really like those odds like you're talking about, Andy. A couple other ones that you kind of have to look at as, top 5 picks is, Rory sitting at a plus 320 right right now.
Plus 140 top 10.
Exactly.
Rory. Yeah.
Exactly. That's really good. A really one that I really want to get out of my chest right now is Tony Finau.
There we
go. He's at a plus 2,200 to take down this tournament. I think he should be. He's going to be in contention. This guy is playing so well right now, and he's at a plus 400 for top 5 and a plus 200 for top 10. I think top 10's a lock for Tony this week, so that plus 200 is pretty much free money the way I'm looking at it, but that plus 2,200 is right for the taking just because that is such a good value play for how Tony is playing right now.
He already has 4 wins on the tour.
Correct.
Just one in Mexico, and he's top 15 greens in regulation. What more? Top 10 finish I'm looking at here, whether it's Caesars, MGM, plus 210, plus 220. It's
crazy.
Top 10.
Crazy.
Top 10.
Yeah, I know.
Give me Tony Finau all day. Okay, so now I got to, oh boy. So I'm going Ricky Fowler. You talked me into Rory. I think he just, he had an off tournament.
Yeah.
Last one we talked about, and that'll happen.
Hey.
But he's going to bounce back. He's Rory, right?
He's Rory. He needs to win one of these. He really does have to win one of these majors this year, I think, just to kind of keep people at bay.
Yeah.
Really one that not a lot of people are talking about, Andy, that is shining to me as well at the top of the list is plus 2,100 for Brooks Koepka, another one of the live guys.
Hey.
That
nailed that last time.
Exactly.
You brought up Brooksy, and he came through.
Exactly. And I feel like one of these live guys has to take one of these down as well. So it could be Brooks, it could be DJ, but the way, Brooks is always at the top of the list here.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard not to talk about him. So I like that as well.
Yeah, I don't think you can argue with old Brooks Koepka there. He's another one of those guys that, he goes through a bad stretch and then everyone forgets about him.
Yeah.
And that seems to be where he's most comfortable.
I really think so.
Where he gets back into stride. All right, you want to talk a little favorites?
Yeah, favorites. You look no further than freaking Jon Rahm.
Yeah.
Best player in the world. Scotty Scheffler, like you said, coming off a major win. Can he go back to back? It's very hard to do that, obviously. I think Jon Rahm does have a little bit of the advantage on this course. Obviously,
they're calling it ROM mode. He's in ROM mode.
He's going
right
ROM mode. Yeah, bring out the Dodge ROM. But no, I really think that Jon Rahm is the top favorite at plus 750.
Yep.
I just don't think that's good enough value, Andy, to take down a whole tournament.
It is tough
because when you're looking at golfers like DJ, Brooks, Tony Finau, and you're getting so much more value, it's hard to throw a whole bunch of money at plus 750 when you can take just as good as golfer and get plus 3,000.
Yeah, Tony Finau, right?
Exactly.
To your point, but I do feel that he should be, and he is the overall favorite. He just looks unbeatable.
Yeah,
just running away with things. And it doesn't matter if he plays a tough round in the on Thursday or Friday.
He bounced back so good.
Oh, man. You just always know he's there.
Yeah.
And as we saw with Tiger Woods over, a 15-year, 10-year span, as long as he's within like 5, 6, 7 strokes,
he's there.
Come Sunday, he's there.
Exactly.
And I just feel that's the way Jon Rahm's playing
And
right
I'm
now.
just looking down PGAtour.com at, the experts, quote unquote, and who they're picking. 3 of them pick Jon Rahm.
Yeah.
Scotty's got one. Xander's got one. Justin Thomas has one. So it's a unanimous decision across the world of golf that Jon Rahm should be the favorite and is the favorite to win this major.
Hey, here's some. We're also on ESPN Tri-Cities.
Yeah.
Shout out to ESPN Tri-Cities Radio. All of the folks out in Kearney, Grand Island, Hastings area there.
For sure.
Tory Barron, a writer for ESPN.com, he agrees with you. Brooks Koepka is his winner.
There you
He's
go.
putting him as the winner. And he actually compares him to Billy Madsen here.
Wow.
When he says, now you're all in big trouble. He feels like that's what Koepka's saying. Now that he is healthy, I guess he was a little under the weather and also had a back problem. I guess he's all healed up now and ready to go, ready to wreak havoc at Oak Hill.
Then I believe him, Andy.
Yeah, you got to, right?
I do.
It's the mothership. It's the mothership.
Do I have time for a parlay, Andy?
Yes, you do.
Okay. So right now, DraftKings Sportsbook, plus 1,600. Scotty Scheffler, top 5 finish. Patrick Cantley, top 10 finish. Tony Finau, top 20 finish.
Top 20?
Just those 3 have to hit those marks. It's a plus 1,600 right now. I think that's a very, very good bet. I'm just going to put $20 on this, Andy, and that will return $340. I think that's very good value.
Yes.
All these guys are very capable of doing this. Scotty, obviously a top 5 player. Patrick Cantley, always in the top 10. And then, like we said, Tony Finau might win this tournament, let alone get top 20. So I really like this bet. Plus 1,600, put 20 on it, return $340.
Hey, you are the parlay pounder. You'd almost feel ripped off if you didn't give us a parlay.
Exactly.
For the
I had to.
The PGA Championship.
Yeah.
Oak Hill starting today through Sunday. Run down those 3 guys one more time for that parlay.
That parlay is Scotty Scheffler at a top 5, Patrick Cantley at a top 10, and Tony Finau top 20 at a plus 1,600, putting 20 on it to win $340.
God, I love that.
That's a good one. It sounds good.
Let's take a minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the Nebraska Brewing Company. We've been enjoying the smooth, easy drinking Ale Storm.
Yes.
The official beer of Omaha's AAA baseball team. Crafted with Pilsner malt and Sterling hops, making it the perfect summer baseball beer. I think we can both agree on that.
That is correct, Andy.
Correcto mundo.
Yes, it is.
Don't go anywhere, folks. This is WTL.
TL.
I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine. If you ain't first, you're last.
TL.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the line? I'm your host, Andy Class, enjoyed by
Jabron.
Oh, the parlay pounder. Nebraska's first and only sports betting show.
Yep.
And I mean, you're Jabron. We got to talk about LeBron. We got to talk NBA.
My namesake. Yes, have to.
We got to talk NBA playoffs here. Yep. And your Lakers, I mean, they were looking pretty sad, pretty sorry in Game 1.
They were.
Western Conference Finals against the Denver Nuggets. But, man, did they come back, and they had an opportunity on the road.
Yep.
And that says a lot. That first quarter, they were down 37-25.
Correct. Andy, this was, and I think a lot of people, I've been listening to talk radio, watching TV all day, reviewing this game. I believe that most of these people turned that game off at halftime or maybe even after the first quarter because a lot of people do not know what happened in the second half of this game and why the Lakers are going to win this series.
Hot take.
But I'm just saying right now, it's at a plus 207 for the Lakers to win this series, and I do believe that this is going to happen. While that being said, I am going to give you what Game 2 is, gonna do right here.
I gave you a little clout, and we retweeted it on your. You hit a parlay.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was all LeBron based.
King James on assists, rebounds, points.
He hit the overs on all 3. You bet the overs, of course you did, and. The Lakers, by the way, they covered by a half point too. It was 6.5 on most books, closed at 6.5. They closed the gap within 6. Yeah, so for all those people that turned the game off at halftime, the Lakers came storming back, and they did end up covering, as crazy as that sounds.
No, it was crazy because everybody thought this was going to be a 20-point blowout. At the and I can't say that I didn't either, but you 20 points is not safe, especially in the NBA playoffs, especially with how good these teams are offensively, especially the Lakers and the Nuggets. Game 1 was simply a shooting masterpiece, not by just the Denver Nuggets shooting 55% from the floor and 47% from 3.
Crazy.
But not to be outdone by Los Angeles, kept pace with 55% shooting, including 45% from beyond the arc. So both offenses were just locked in, especially the Nuggets in the start.
Yeah.
Expect Game 2. These defensive adjustments made by the Los Angeles Lakers, I believe, are going to carry them to victory in Game 2. They are going to be in desperation mode here, Andy. I believe it's going to go under, and
That game,
the
too.
Lakers are going to win.
That game, too, though, it's in Denver. It's tomorrow. It's on ESPN. Broadcast starts at 7:30, although the NBA is pretty relaxed on that.
Yeah, it is.
The actual tip-off might be closer to 7:45.
It's crazy. Just the intros and the commercials and, Larry Bird coming on, Magic Johnson coming on. They just have to go all the way through it. Last night was kind of a hoopla thing with the NBA lottery, the Spurs getting the number one pick.
Spurs.
So they're gonna add to David Robinson and Tim Duncan, so they got the number one
back to back.
the Twin Towers. But no, I just believe that this is do or die for the Lakers. They need to win this game because if they just take road games off and win at home, it's going to run out for them. Game 7 is going to be in Denver.
No, it's in Denver.
And it's going to be tough for them. So I really think they're going to come out. They're the best defensive team in the NBA right now. I believe they're going to come out, put a little bit more pressure on Joker. And Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic were just crazy last night. They were hitting crazy shots, buzzer beaters.
12 for 17 from the field was Jokic. 34 points, just a cool 34, whatever.
And he really didn't do anything in the fourth quarter. So literally, it was just the first 3 quarters that he piled up all that, especially rebounding, Andy. Offensive rebounding for Denver last night was so crazy that Anthony Davis and LeBron James are not going to stand for this. They are going to rebound. It's going to work. The Lakers will win this game. I believe it's going to go under that 227, but take the Lakers. Take that 5.5 points right now because it's free.
Gibran, you ignorant schmuck. You even made my case for me. They were out-rebounded 47-30. And this has been the Lakers all season long. You have a 7-footer in Anthony Davis, but he's like, I don't want to get banged around. I'll get injured anyway. He did score 40 points.
He did.
I will give him that. What? 11 for 11 from the free throw line.
Yes, sir.
Wow. I think this, you went over a couple of these fascinating stats, just like you said, immaculate shooting for performance from both teams. I think it spells doom for your Lakers. How can they shoot 46% from three-point land and still lose a game? They lost a game by 6 points, and they shot 46%, 55%, 54.8% from the field.
Well,
and they still lost.
Yeah, for sure. The trick is not to get down by this much in the first half because they won't have to shoot this many three-pointers going forward. So it is an anomaly game for how well both teams shot. That's why I think the under is a really good play here. The under 227, just because both defenses are going to, toughen up. It's a feel-out game. Game 1, always an over game in Game 1. Game 2, everybody comes in, gets locked in, and I really believe that is the case for Anthony Davis and LeBron James on the defensive side of the game, the backboard for sure.
All right. Well, you kind of redeemed yourself with the under bet there. I like that. I do like that a lot because both teams can't just stay hot like that forever. How about the Eastern Conference Finals?
Let's do it.
Heat versus Celtics. Thriller of a game. Heat winning on the road.
Wednesday night.
They already stole it. I think that's kind of leading to this lopsided line that we're seeing. What, Celtics by 9?
9-point favorite, minus 110 bet right now for the Boston Celtics on Friday, May 19th in Boston.
7:30 tip-off. That's going to be on TNT.
Yeah. Over-under sitting at 215, which, went way over in Game 1, 123 to 116, Andy. But like I'm saying, especially with these two teams, they're supposed to be defensive-minded teams.
They're supposed to be.
Especially the Miami Heat with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. And then you have Marcus Smart on the other side of the ball trying to, shadow Jimmy Buckets the entire time. Jimmy Buckets came out with 35 points in Game 1, and Jason Tatum had 30 on the other side.
Unbelievable.
He is. Playoff Jimmy is no joke. Playoff Jimmy is no joke. But I do believe that this probably goes over just because that is set so low. I believe that 215, especially with the explosive scoring with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, I do think that the +9 for the Miami Heat is still a good play just because there's no quit in this Miami Heat team. They do not get down and just give it away. So I do not believe that they're going to get blown out.
I don't think so either. And that game one, Tatum had 30 points.
Exactly.
Jaylen Brown, 22. Marcus Smart, 13th. Your stars came out. They played well, just not good enough to win.
Exactly.
At home.
Well,
what's going on? You gotta
protect home court. And, no, just like we're saying, I really think Boston probably does get this win, Andy.
I think they do too.
It's going to come down to the wire. Jimmy Butler does not take games over, but they're going to be within 9. I think +9 for the Heat is a very good bet. I think the over is the best bet. The plus 215 over, I think, is a smacker.
Man, you do a lot of zigging when people are zagging,
for sure.
And you even spelled it out there. You're saying, well, these are two defensive teams. I'm taking the over.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree that it should be that way. But with that line set so low at 215, Andy, I just think. Tatum's going to get his. Jimmy's going to get his. I think over 215 is a play. You know who's kind of been a disappointment? I don't know if it's fair shade to be throwing at the old guy. Al Horford. Yeah.
He's old. He's really old. And he's still, helping out in spots, but you're used to seeing him out on the court thinking, all right, he's going to do what he always does. No, the guy's like 80 years old or something like that. I mean, he won a couple.
But he still plays 32 minutes. It's crazy.
I know. I just think of that run he had at Florida with those guys.
Yeah, back to back.
None of those guys are in the league, right?
No,
Brewer's gone.
Joakim gone.
Yeah, Noah's gone.
It's kind of funny. Literally, it seems to me that Boston Miami Heat have the reflection of this player. It's Al Horford and Kevin Love. They're literally the same player, but Boston is playing Al Horford double the minutes that the Heat will play Kevin Love. Kevin Love gets 20 minutes, 16 to 20 minutes.
16 in game one.
That's what I'm saying. They'll just give him 20 minutes. He comes in, shoots 2 threes, usually makes them, and then if they need 3-point shooting at the end of the game, they bring him in. On the other side, they have Al Horford playing starting minutes, just as many minutes as Marcus Smart in game one. That you can't have that with how much. How much tread is on the tires. So I agree with you on this point.
When I hear those those morning talk shows and the national talk shows and they're throwing shade at Horford, I'm like, give the guy a break. Yeah. I mean, gee whiz, what do you expect? He still poured in 7 points in 32 minutes.
Exactly.
While Kevin Love just plays half that. Like you said, it's really nice to have a 7-footer with experience that just can come in, shoot a couple of threes, call it good, give you size, and give you some instant scoring.
And when you got
offense.
Bam Adebayo as the true big man, it just complements that because he's got the middle lockdown. If you got that corner shooter, LeBron knew it for years and years and years with Kevin Love. Just have him sit there. He's going to be a weapon. Right. So I really do like Miami Heat to cover here. I think Boston has to get this, so they do win in Boston.
Unlike the Lakers-Denver matchup, I think we're in agreement on this one. We think Boston's going to win, but we believe Miami Heat is going to cover.
Correct.
Smack that over.
Well, then you're not going to like my parlay play, are you?
There's the Hornets who are up against it, but we got plenty of time for a parlay play.
Okay, I got a 3-team perfecta, propfecta. I got the Los Angeles Lakers winning tonight. LeBron James over 9.5 rebounds. And then I got Anthony Davis over 24.5 points.
Okay.
All three of these are hitting. Put 25 on this, Andy, to win 222.
25 for 222. I mean, I like that. Other than you're going to lean a little heavy towards the Lakers, there. But I like a couple of those legs.
Desperation mode.
Maybe I could par that down. I can par down the parlay play,
or you could just throw in Nuggets to win, and you'd be all right.
There we go. Let's take a minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the Nebraska Brewing Company. We've been enjoying the smooth, easy drinking Ale Storm, the official beer of Omaha's AAA baseball team, crafted with Pilsner malt and Sterling hops, making it the perfect summer baseball beer. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL.
WTL.
Hello?
Hi, I'm looking for a Mr. Ron. First name Mo.
Mo Ron? Moron. It's you little puke.
WTL.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Klassen, joined by
Gibran.
the Parlay Pound.
You got it. You got it. We're back.
And your parlays in this segment, they're going to be more trifecta, quad fact, all the fun things that go with horse race betting, because it is time for the 2023 Preakness Stakes at Pimlico Race Course. 8 horses are going to be taking the field, with Mage listed at the number 3 slot.
Yep.
And of course, Mage is the favorite, as everyone's riding that possible Triple Crown winner
for sure
high. But there's a lot of things going on here. Bob Baffert's back in the picture.
He's back in the picture,
He's
Andy.
out of jail. He's out of the doghouse, and this is going to be his first since like 2021. Yes, that's his first since the Kentucky Derby of 2021, and he got in a little trouble there with some drug tests. Not his test, the horse.
The horse test.
I mean, how's that his fault if his horses aren't drugs? He didn't know.
I don't think he knew at all. I'm on his side.
Yeah. He still claims that he's... But anyhow, Bob Baffert's back, and he is a 7-time winner. He's got a horse in the race. You know he does. I'm sure we'll be talking about him. Jerron, what are your first overall thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, let's just run down him, Andy. In position 1, National Treasure at a plus 400. Mm-hmm. Position 2, Chase the Chaos at plus 5,000. Like you said, position 3 is Mage with plus 160.
Yeah.
Position 4, Coffee with Chris plus 2,000. 5, Red Route 1 at plus 1,000. Position 6, Perform at plus 1,500. And position 7, Blazing Sevens. Lucky number 7's right
Blazing
there.
Sevens.
At plus 600. And then rounding out, position 8, First Mission at plus 250. The, kind of backseater to Mage right now as the overall favorite there. So right now, many are going to gravitate towards Mage, like you said.
Of course.
With given his performance at the Kentucky Derby, how couldn't you do that? Mm-hmm. But, however, Andy, First Mission at plus 250 provides the most value among the favorites and has a similarly solid pedigree.
Right.
First Mission has a similar speed to Mage. The Colt won 2 of its first 3 races while finishing second in its only lone defeat. Mm-hmm. It might not be the most experienced horse, but it obviously has shown that it can win. And, First Mission has a good enough speed to run out to a lead and good closing speed as well. So I really like First Mission, especially with the extra value at plus 250. But, that being said, Mage plus 160 certainly wouldn't be a bad alternative for those not sold on First Mission. So that's my first initial thought, Andy.
Yeah, I like First Mission too. I'm looking at 5-2 odds here, similar to what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And whether it was First Mission, National Treasure, Blazing Sevens, they all opened up at 12-1, 10-1, 15-1.
Yeah.
And then after that initial wave of bets came in, then they all kind of closed the gap there on Mage, and that's to be expected. I really like Blazing Sevens.
There you go.
Getting 6-1. Wish I would have got in a little earlier when it was 15-1, then 12-1. I just got to get on my horse.
You got to get on your horse.
I got to get on my horse.
I agree.
But I still like Blazing Sevens. Number 7 there with the 6-1 odds.
Yeah.
And you know what? For me, it's more of I just like the name. Mel Brooks, Blazing Saddles, Blazing Sevens. Lucky number 7's my number.
Position 7.
Position 7. I mean, I'm getting really
Too
deep
much stuff
here.
is stacking up.
Yeah.
No, Blazing Sevens obviously is a very good pick right here. He's at a plus 600 on my book right now, so that is still very good odds. And obviously on the top echelon of the racehorses here, at least in the top 50% of them.
Yeah.
So Blazing Sevens definitely not a bad pick either, especially with that added value.
Yeah, and he's another one that he was down, he was buried, when that first came out, and then once I would say the sharp money started to flex a little bit.
For sure.
That's when you started to see Mage and his overall favorite kind of lose ground to the rest of the field there. And no one was really talking about Mage all that much until he won the Derby.
Yeah.
And okay, you win the Derby, but the Preakness is a different race.
It is.
It's longer, and it takes a special kind of horse to win both of these races. I'm not saying Mage isn't that. And obviously, I think you should be the favorite if you did win the Derby. It's not always the case.
Yeah.
But
one thing I do have
is.
to correct you on, Andy, is the Preakness Stakes is the shortest of the Triple Crown races at 1 mile and 3/16 miles. So So this race will favor a horse that starts well and have good speed more than others. Stamina is still important, obviously,
All right.
but there is simply less time to make up for a bad start than there is at the Kentucky Derby.
Are you kidding? I always thought it was 1 mile, mile and a half, then longer.
No,
I thought it got longer
The
every
Preakness is
leg.
the shortest of the Triple Crown
Really?
races.
So this
Correct.
is the speedster one. I always thought the Kentucky Derby was the
You would
quick
think
one.
that with it being first and everything, but no, it is the Preakness Stakes as the shortest of the 3 races.
All right, so this is a sprinter's type of race. Well, and then Mage, you're saying Mage likes to come from behind, kind of stalk
Yeah.
the lead horse. Might run out of time. Got to make that move a little quicker then.
Exactly. But on the bright side, fewer horses will run in the Preakness than the Derby.
Mm-hmm.
As such, bettors won't have to worry as much as their horse being boxed in or boxed out, like you said, Andy.
Right.
There's not as many horses. There's only 8 horses running here, so still, it's best to target horses that start well and have a good kick on the backstretch, in the race to win here. So, those are the traits that you're trying to identify for the Preakness winner.
Well, I brought him up earlier. Bob Baffert's back in it, and he is training National Treasure, and National Treasure has been skyrocketing up.
Yeah.
The ranks here. I mean, you're looking at some 4-to-1 odds now. Not too shabby, and I already mentioned he's a 7-time winner at the Preakness. Knows how to get it done, and you better believe it. The revenge factor is going to be weighing in heavy on the man with the silver hair and the big shades.
Yeah, no, you're totally right, Andy, and a whole bunch of money is just going to go on him for this reason, just because of who owns him, who brought him up, his lineage, all that kind of stuff. So I really like that. That being said, I'm going to go back to First Mission, Andy. He is the son of a Kentucky Derby winner, Street Sense, if you remember that name from back in the day.
Oh,
So
little
the
Street
lineage is there for First Mission as well. Obviously, National Treasure obviously has that as well, being brought up on that farm.
Yep. And he's rocking the number 1. Maybe that's a little, I don't know, a good omen for Bob Baffert. I don't know if there's something behind that or not. Are you going to be getting a little wild with it? Got any trifectas?
Well, I do got one sleeper pick that is way back If you're looking for a sleeper pick in the Preakness, Red Route 1 at a plus 1,000, I think looks like the most appealing value pick for bettors to target. Red Route 1 is an experienced racehorse who has run 9 races during his career. He has produced 2 first-place finishes, 2 second-place finishes, and a third-place finish, displaying good closing speed in those events. So if you're looking for a sleeper, if you're looking to cash in on the big value bet, Red Route 1 at plus 1,000, I believe is that best value bet, the best sleeper in the field.
You might be onto something, because you're not the first guy that I've heard from today saying Red Route 1.
There you go.
So maybe you're listening to some of the podcasts, reading some of the articles I've been reading here.
Yeah.
With the Red Route 1 talk, and as you mentioned, this is a sprint. The Belmont's the long one.
Yes.
Less time for the shenanigans,
right?
In horse racing here.
And what's going to kind of go, one tidbit I want to throw out there is post position Preakness winners. The most ever is at position 6 with 16 winners. Now Perform is at a plus 1,500, so that everybody's kind of throwing that out the window or whatever. But so literally, it's
15 to 1 odds.
1, 2, and 3 all have 12 Preakness winners, all of them. So it really doesn't matter what position you're in here. You have a chance. Pick your favorite horse. Don't let post position scare you is all I'm trying to get out.
Right. Well, so your overall favorite is First Mission, right?
Correct.
I would have to agree with you. Then I'm thinking Mage. Are you looking at any of those trifecta type deals, or are you just doing straight bets?
Yeah, you know what? The trifecta is so hard to hit, Andy. Like, I'm just trying to pick
so
one
you're not
horse.
Doing the superfecta then?
Yeah, definitely not doing it. Like, that's fun stuff to do while when you're at the racetrack and stuff, and you can throw a $5 bet on 3 to get really good odds and stuff. If I had to do a trifecta, Andy, it would have to be First Mission 1, Mage 2, National Treasure coming in 3rd. So that is my trifecta. I don't have odds for you right now, but that is what it would be.
I'm going National Treasure, First Mission, and Blazing Sevens.
There
That's
you
my
go.
That's my trifecta. There you go. Let's take a minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners. That is the Stock and Rod Company, an outdoor lifestyle brand for those seeking adventure. Whether it's hunting, fishing, hiking, they got you covered. Visit Stock and Rod, all one word, STOCKANDROD.com to get your wild game on. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL.
TL.
On a juvenile delinquent in the offseason in his major league debut. And the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside.
TL.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the line? I'm your host, Andy Klassen, joined by
Jabron.
the Parlay Pounder.
You got it.
And, we got to finish strong.
Yeah.
And we're getting into the summer here. We got to talk baseball.
The dog days of summer.
Yeah, we got to talk futures. We're going to talk about some teams that are making some noise.
Yeah.
And, we're having a lot of fun with it, and a lot of people are pouring in money, especially on those daily bets.
For sure.
We got to get in on the action. We are Where's the Line?
Where's the line?
Let's start with the American AL East.
Yeah.
Man, so much noise, so many good teams. The Rays lead the division right now. I don't think anyone's overly surprised. Even during our preview show, during the opening day, we're saying, look, don't sleep on Tampa Bay. Don't sleep on the Rays. They are sitting there at 32-12, a .727 winning percentage, 19-3 at home.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But even more unbelievable than that, who's in second place?
Yeah, the Baltimore Orioles, Andy, like you said. But what I really want to, everybody thought Baltimore would be one of the worst teams in baseball.
Yeah.
But this AL East is just so crazy, Andy. The last place team, the Boston Red Sox, right now would be tied for first place in the American League Central, tied with the Minnesota Twins at a 24-20 record. That is unheard of, to have the last place team in your division to be 4 games above 500.
Yeah. Yep.
Just to let you know, check out the division just by itself. The AL East is way above everybody else, 93-48. That's a .660 winning percentage.
Wow.
The second closest, Andy, is the NL West with a 69-64 record, just 5 games over 500.
Yeah.
The AL East are world beaters. They're going to have and with the way I kind of wanted to shape this, Andy, is with the new format of the playoffs, Andy, that expanded. One of the more consequential rule changes this year is expanded the playoff system, which will now feature 12 teams, 6 from each leagues instead of just 10 in years past. You will have the 3 division winners from the AL and NL, and then 3 wild cards from each league as well. So the way that it's sitting right now,
see 4 easily.
Obviously, the Rays are winning the division, but you look at that wild card race. Baltimore Orioles +4 games, Toronto Blue Jays +1, and then the New York Yankees are sitting right there. So that is crazy that they could get 4 teams in the playoffs, Andy, in one division.
The Yankees are 5 games above 500, 25-20.
Yeah.
And they're 7.5 games back in the division. They're 7.5 games back in the division. And like we said last week, it's not early anymore. I mean, you're starting to see these schedules kind of pile up. We're at 50 games in. 45 games into the season here. So, these are the teams.
It's
taking shape.
This is how it's going to be. These are the rotations that, are going to be there for the majority of the year. I'm sitting there looking at the Yankees right now. To make the playoffs is a -270. To not make the playoffs is a +220.
Ooh.
I mean, obviously, you got to think that the Yankees are going to be at the top of the division at the end here, probably behind the Rays, but I do believe that they get past the Blue Jays and the Orioles. Kind of a weird bet right now, Andy. For the Baltimore Orioles, it's a plus money bet for them to make the playoffs right now. They're in second place, and it's a +30 bet for them to make the playoffs. That means that people do not think that this is going to happen. It's a -155 bet to not make the playoffs. So those are two of the bets I really wanted to talk about with the American League, that nobody still believes in the Baltimore Orioles, and that people are really still hammering the Yankees because they're the Yankees.
Yeah, well, and they are the Yankees, and I don't even need a crystal ball to see what's going to happen here to your Twins.
Yeah.
They're going to get squared up with the Yankees in round one.
Yes.
That's how this is. That's what's going to happen. And oh my God, I feel so bad for the Twins because for whatever reasons, you just can't beat the damn Yankees.
We can't win a playoff game, and it's because we get matched up with the Yankees every time. But no, the Yankees are going to come in with a wild card spot, having to play the last division winner. And that will be the Minnesota Twins. So, the crystal ball here is not looking good for the Minnesota Twins, even though that they're probably going to win their division.
They're looking good.
They're going to have to play one of these AL East teams in a wild card weekend matchup. But what is good, Andy, is that the wild card now is not just a one game, you're done.
Yeah.
So it is a 3-game series, which is just a lot better for baseball in general. It's not you can throw out your best pitcher and then bring your next best pitcher and then your next best pitcher in one game.
Right.
You have to do it strategically. There could be 3 games, so you got to play your ace, but you got to have somebody in game 2 and game 3 to pick up the slack if you do not win that game. So I really like the format that's going.
Yeah, I do. It's more true baseball.
It's more true baseball because that one game wild card,
is.
I can't tell you how many heartbreaks I had with the Twins.
You're talking to an Oakland Athletics fan.
Exactly.
I mean, I get it. I think the last time that I felt good about Oakland getting into the playoffs, and they had to win that one game.
They had to.
They started with their closer.
Right.
I mean, it was unbelievable because they were like, well, how do we do this?
How do we do this? We don't know.
It was what a train wreck. And then that AL Central, you touched on it. We think the Twins are going to win it. The next best team is Detroit, 3.5 games back, and they're 3 games under. 3 games under 500.
Yeah, Andy. The AL Central is the worst division in baseball. It's looking really bad. But, the Minnesota Twins are the only team in this division with a plus run differential right now at a plus 42. The next best is, like you said, the Detroit Tigers with a minus 48 run differential.
Wow, what is
that is
going
so
on?
bad. And like we said last week, Kansas City Royals, they're just playing for that park downtown. They just want to move. They have 14 wins, 31 losses. Those are going to keep stacking up. So
to your point, team futures overall to be the World Series champions.
Yeah.
Okay, Atlanta Braves are in the top spot there, deservedly so at plus 500. But you got the Rays right behind them at plus 600.
For sure.
You have 3 teams out of the AL East ahead of the Twins.
No doubt.
You have the Yankees, Blue Jays, and of course the Tampa Bay Rays, all listed with better odds than the Twins at plus 1400, 14-1.
For sure.
Just to kind of
and
flex
that's
AL
just
East.
the way you got to look at it right now. The Minnesota Twins they're slated as one of the easiest schedules in baseball, obviously playing a lot of the Central, but not as much anymore with the way that the new schedule shakes out.
Right.
You have to play every team at least once, so it is really...
You're picking up some wins against my Oakland Athletics.
Exactly.
That's what's going on here.
It's really fun to see that AL East really play against every other division and still come up with that kind of win percentage. So
beating the crud out of them.
That is pretty crazy.
Hey, my Oakland Athletics have won 10 games now.
Boom.
So there we go.
Yeah.
They are 10-35 at the time of this recording. I feel so good about them.
Only 17 games back.
And then, here in a year or two? I think next year we're going to play ball at the AAA affiliate in Las Vegas.
Perfect.
They're pulling way better numbers attendance-wise.
No doubt.
Than the home crowds in Oakland. It's just such a sad situation there. Do we want to move on to the National League?
Yeah, let's just touch on a couple teams that I want to talk about, Andy, and that would be, first up, the San Diego Padres. Now, they're kind of back in the pack right now in that, star-studded NL West with the Dodgers, Diamondbacks, Giants sitting in 4th place with a 20-24 record. Obviously, this team is underperforming with the amount of swag and,
they're 2-8 their last 10. 2-8 the last 10. Look at the,
Yeah. So if you look past the division, Andy, and head into that wild card like we were talking about, they are only 2.5 games back of that wild card. So everybody needs to get out of the Dodgers are 10 games up on them. That doesn't matter per se.
Not as much anymore.
So where I'm looking, Andy, with the future bettings for them to make the playoffs is at a minus 215. So a lot of people are still want them to make the playoffs or think that they're a shoe-in. For people that think that they are kind of,
they're
over
a half
it and
game
stuff.
behind the Giants, and everyone's talking trash on the Giants, and they're not impressing anybody.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know, man.
The San Diego Padres not to make the playoffs is at a plus 180 right now. And I think it's a pretty good bet. I think it's a pretty good bet just because I think it's going to shake out a little more. They have to play the Dodgers a lot more. Mm-hmm. So I really don't know if I see the Padres making the playoffs this year.
Something's gotten into the Diamondbacks. What are they? They're 3 games back, but with the 25-19 record.
Correct.
Pretty good. 6-4 last 10.
Yeah.
The Padres are just disappointing.
Yeah.
They got their guy back.
Fernando Tatis Jr.
And he was on fire, hit a couple home runs right away, and they just have cooled off. And I got some of those pitchers on my fantasy team, and what's going on?
They are cooling. One that I really want to throw in there, Andy, is a team that everybody is split on right now, and that is the reigning National League champion, the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yep, the Phillies.
Right now, to make the playoffs, it's a split bet right down the middle at minus 110 bet on DraftKings. I really think that this team has what it takes to bring it home in the stretch, especially to get a wild card spot, Andy.
They're 4th in the division, but I get it. They're only 6.5 games back.
And they're only 2 games back in the wild card. Bryce Harper just got healthy. He's probably a top 5 player in Major League Baseball.
Healthy enough to get in some fights.
Exactly. He's an MVP candidate that they get back. He's literally the heart and soul of the team. He is the heartbeat of the team. So I really see these guys making a run, maybe even at the division, but for sure I think they will be at the top of the National League wild card. So right now at a minus 110 bet, I think it's a steal for the Philadelphia Phillies to make the playoffs.
Like you said, once you look twice at the standings, you realize they're only a couple games back for second place in their division and third place, and that it doesn't matter as much with the way this is formatted. The new playoffs format. It's not just a flip a coin, one game type of scenario.
No, it's the better team at the end is still going to have the advantage, Andy, because the better record gets to host these games. But if you make it to one of these top 3 playoff, wild card spots, you have as good a chance as anyone of taking down that crown. So I really like the Philadelphia Phillies. I am cooling a lot on the San Diego Padres.
I'm cooling, and I'm also cooling on the NL Central.
For sure.
I think the Pirates are going to start to fade here. I think the Brewers are going to take over and flex, leaving more room for the Phillies to make a run here coming out of the NL East.
I like it.
You got the Braves, the Marlins. There's the buzzer. That means we're up against it, but we got the Braves, Marlins, Mets, and Phillies all coming out of the East, looking good, looking strong. Brewers in the Central, kind of like we're thinking Twins out of the AL Central.
The NL Central and the AL Central mirror each other.
They kind of do. Like, what is going on here?
Yes.
Well, you heard the horn. That means we're up against it. That'll about do it for us this week.
Yeah.
Be sure to follow us on ESPN Tri-Cities Radio, Twitter. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. That is growing. I don't want to say it's expanding faster than the universe, but it's growing. It's getting
right
big.
there. It's right there, Andy.
It's right there. We also got those daily free picks over on TikTok. For Jabron, the Parlay Pounder, I'm Andy Klassen. Thank you for listening. This has been WTL.